my tag, 10 designer fragrances for life. Thank you to Lauren from Lola Scents for tagging me. I've decided to do some men's and some women's marketed fragrances, only because there are not 10 female marketed fragrances that I actually think I would happily want to own. So let's start with one of the female ones. This one I have just a decant of, and it's Chloe Love, which is now discontinued, but it's not that difficult to get hold of and it's not that expensive last time I looked. Chloe Love is the girl next door kind of fragrance. It's every day, just want to smell good, polished, groomed, clean. It's that kind of fragrance. It's not for someone who's trying to be a bit edgy or looking for something a bit different. It is very smooth and clean and girly and slightly fresh. It's almost like you're just wearing a beautiful body lotion. It's a floral fragrance. Just smells like clean white florals. It almost smells like linen drying in the wind that's just been washed. It just smells so clean and so smooth. It's the kind of fragrance that you'd wear to meet the parents when you want to give off that innocent kind of a feel, when you don't want them to know just how naughty you've been with their boy. If you want to come off really innocent, then Chloe Love will do the trick. Chloe Love will do the trick in any situation. It will just make you feel clean and polished and feminine and fresh. Femme fresh. Chloe Love. Let's go for one of the guys' fragrances. Now, I love this. This is Jean-Paul Gaultier Le Male, but you already knew that, didn't you? This is my vintage bottle, and I love it. I only wore it the other day myself, and I wear it here and there, just when I feel like something a little bit different. It's not uber masculine. Let's just spray it. You get loads out of the sprayer. It's minty. There's neroli, but it's not a very strong or astringent or nettle-like neroli. It's just got that clean yet fresh and something slightly powdery as well. Very reminiscent of the 90s. Well, you know, back when I used to go clubbing, all the fellas would be wearing it. I really enjoy it. I really like it. And I think now, because time has passed and there's so many different fragrances on the market, I think you're quite safe to wear that and not necessarily hark back to those sort of 90s nightclubs and what have you. I just love it. It's fresh, it lasts all day on my skin, and I would be happy to smell it on a guy and equally enjoy wearing it on myself. So that is Le Male. Next, let's go for Guerlain, and this is Aqua Liguria. So it's an eau de toilette and it's called Pampelune. This is a grapefruit fragrance. So this is your everyday running around, doing errands, doing your housework, going to the shops, man or woman. So this is, or they are generally marketed towards women, the Aqua Ligurias, but there is nothing that makes that especially feminine. It is, to me, it's a grapefruit with bite. It's got texture, so it's unique because you don't get that many grapefruit fragrances in the designer realm, and it makes you feel fresh and clean, but not like your everyday citrus 7-Eleven style cologne. It is something different, so that is a fabulous choice for your everyday casual wear. Okay, what's next? Let's do, this is a Midnight in Paris. I will always own a bottle of Midnight in Paris. I actually own two. I've got the EDT and the EDP. I don't tell much difference between the two, and the bottle you have to have your best eyesight on, and you can then read eau de toilette. So this is the eau de toilette. The reason I will always have this is A, because the bottle is stunning and I bloody well love it, and B, because I really enjoy the way it smells. Benzoin is one of my favourite notes. This is a benzoin resinous fragrance, but it's sweet, vanillic, and there's a lightness to it. Let's put some on my hand. There's, I think there's rose, There's definitely a floral element. I believe it to be rose, and it's a suede fragrance. So it's described as a leather fragrance, but to me it's much more of a suede fragrance. I don't get a harsh leather, I get a very soft and fluffy suede. It's suede, rose and resins. Beautiful, anyone can wear that. It's 100% unisex, but marketed towards men, which I find weird, because why would you market a fragrance to men and put it in such a stunning bottle, which generally men's fragrances don't get so much attention to detail as the women's do. So that's unusual, but I love it. Midnight in Paris, Van Cleef and Arpels. Let's go for a female one. This is a fairly recent, in the last few years, release. It's called Marc Jacobs Decadence. There's a few flankers out there now and they're all good, but we'll stick with the orange. And to me, this is a rose gourmand. It smells like roses, violets, chocolate. There's a little bit of lightness, which I think might come from some citrus notes. And it lasts really well on my skin. It just smells beautiful. This would be date night, when you want to be seductive, or it could be a sort of night out, that kind of thing. When you want to smell a bit edible, or maybe when you're craving sweet food and you can't have it because you put yourself on a diet, then just wear this, it will help. Just beautiful, really feminine and seductive fragrance, and I'll happily wear that often. So I definitely, if I'm keeping 10 designer fragrances, that's one that I'll be wearing a lot. Let's go back to the men's realm, shall we? Right, so I've got an alternative option, because what I'm going to tell you about now is discontinued and expensive and difficult to find. So that might piss you off, but I do have an alternative that is similar-ish. So what I'm talking about here is Louis. See if you can see that, Louis, and this is Rochas. So Rochas, John Rochas, or fashion house. You'll obviously be familiar with Rochas Man and Rochas Femme. This one has been discontinued, I believe, for quite a fair while, and it is so expensive to get hold of. I've got some on my wrist which I applied about an hour and a half ago, and to me, when you first apply it, so if I apply a little bit to my thumb here, just so I can remind me of the opening notes. So when you first apply it, you get a sweet, citrusy, neroli / orange blossom kind of opening. And there's a slightly sharp greenness in there as well, a bitterness, like a petitgrain or something. Now, there's also a sweet element to the orange blossom, which is really nice. What I like here is there's a real combination of something that's sweet and could even be slightly feminine, but it's completely transposed against some real masculine notes. So there's a real strong woodiness in here. And there's also some sort of masculine accord, which I believe might have a lavender in there, but it's that generic, very manly, masculine smell. You know, like if you picture a man in the woods in a lumberjack shirt chopping up wood, and what sort of cologne would he wear? And you know, it would be something very, kind of a bit rough and very masculine. It's got this real masculine edge, but also a soft floral element as well. And the longevity is really good. And now on my wrist, so the more in the dry down, it's like the flowers have just slowly starting to subside. But that masculine thing is really strong. It's almost a little bit like there's some kind of aquatic element in there. Not a lot, just a tiny touch of something like a sea breeze or a little bit of driftwood, maybe something slightly salty. I think it's stunning. I think it's a masterpiece, and I'm sorry that it's so expensive and so difficult to get hold of. But the alternative that I have for you that gives you a similar vibe. Now, I'm not saying it's identical, not by any means, but it is similar enough, and that is Dunhill Icon. So this is my own bottle, and I have the nice big 100ml. And it really does have quite a few similarities. It has that sort of neroli orange blossom opening. It also has a kind of salty driftwoody aspect to it. It does lack that masculine lavender thing that I can't quite put my fingers on. It doesn't quite have that, but what it does have in the dry down is this lovely mineral, earthy kind of, I guess it's a lot of ISOE super in here, but it really is lovely. And also black pepper, which I love. I really love black pepper in fragrances. So Icon definitely belongs in this list. If I could have Louis, then I would, but I can't. So instead, I'm happy to have Dunhill Icon. I've received compliments wearing this one. An unsolicited compliment from an old lady in the co-op where I work. I don't work in the co-op, I work near the co-op, and I was out on my lunch break, and she sort of announced to the entire aisle where I was shopping, "Who in here smells so good?" And that's what she said. So everyone looked around and wondered if it was them, and then she got closer to me and she said, "It's you, what are you wearing?" And I told her I was wearing a men's fragrance. She said, "Well, it doesn't matter, love, it smells lovely." So there you go, compliment getter. I'm quite pleased it's not a panty dropper, because I have a feeling she might have needed her pants for support. So that is Dunhill Icon. So let's go for another female one. So the next one is, I absolutely adore this. I can't live without it. I don't imagine living without it. It is stunning. And it's Shalimar Souffle de Parfum. It's just a beautiful orange blossom. It smells like marshmallows and talcum powder and musky clouds of beauty. It's just one of those soft, it's a bit like in the same vein as Chloe Love, a very wearable, easy reach, very attractive smell. It's got some citruses in the opening, but they're really rounded, really smooth, and then you just get this musky, vanillic, slightly floral, lotion-like scent in the dry down. It's beautiful and I love it. It comes in various bottles. You can get a limited edition. That's the 2017 limited edition. Okay, next, so for the men, Dior Fahrenheit absolutely must be in this list. I really love this. I've always loved this fragrance. That sharp petroleum smell is just to die for. I love it. If you can't get vintage, don't worry. Current formulation smells good to me, and I also love the Parfum version as well. It is just stunning. It's a classic. You just have to own it. There isn't really anything more to say. Everyone knows what Fahrenheit is. Finally, for the ladies, a Versace Crystal Noir. So this one's really interesting, and that's why I've picked it. It stands out from the crowd. It's been around a long time, but it doesn't smell like all the other designer fragrances. It opens up with a coconutty, woodsy textured smell. If you just picture sawdust and desiccated coconut, and then some kind of green element at the same time, it's kind of what you get. It's a bit fresh, but it's really interesting. It's slightly gourmandish. It's a very attractive smell, and it makes you stand out from the crowd because it doesn't smell like anything else. So Crystal Noir from Versace would be in my list. And that bottle, look, I mean, I've got the miniature. That's very cool. So I think I've covered everything. Thank you so much for watching, and I'm now going to tag Ode to Cupcake. So Andrew and Arlene, I would love you to do this video. I love your channel. I always watch your videos. It would be fab to see what you choose. And also, Ouch110, Thomas, we met you only the other day, myself and Dan, and we love you. So please do this video too. That's it then. I'm off. See you later.